So this happened 2 days ago. How do you feel?
Amazing.
You feel amazing?
Amazing. Incredible.
I feel pretty good as well. So how did I meet my dream wife? That's a good question. It's been a long journey though. I've been looking for one for a while. And one thing that happens when you find one, you need to lock her in. They don't hang around for too long. It's like a limited time offer. When it says on a funnel it's 17 spots left, maybe it actually is. And it might be the last chance to take it. So it's been a long journey. But why did I do it though? Like, you might think it's stupid because it's been 2 months, right? 2 months since our first date.
Yeah.
One thing that I learned from reading a shitload of books about relationships and marriage is that you need to commit and then figure out the rest later, okay? Because look, in any relationship there will be problems, there will be arguments, there will be something that doesn't go right at some point. And if there's no commitment, if you're just like a boyfriend and a girlfriend, I mean, you're just gonna leave, right? But marriage is a different thing, right? Right?
Right. You're right.
Exactly. So basically, let's talk a little bit about how this all happened, right? Because it kind of happened pretty quickly, but I guess I was prepared, they were prepared. And how did I get prepared? So I'll start with myself. What I did is, around a year and a half ago, I started reading a lot of books about relationships because I realized that I can't just be successful just with money, or a lot of people know me as the Instagram guru guy. It's like, okay, if I'm successful with Instagram, but then I'm not successful with my health and relationships, that doesn't really make me successful. Money doesn't equal success, so I realized that, and I was pretty healthy already, had a pretty cool body, but really wasn't the best at relationships. And then I picked up some books, started reading, started watching a lot of podcasts, and just looking up to people that I wanted to become. And shout out to Brian Moncada, found his channel, and it was a video like this with his, I guess, wife or fiance, and he was like, yep, we just got engaged like super quick, this is how I did it. And he mentioned this book called How to Be a 3% Man by Coach Corey Wayne. And I was like kind of skeptical because I was like, what is it gonna teach me that I don't know? I thought it was gonna be like a book full of pickup lines or whatever. But no, it really just teaches the fundamentals of feminine energy, masculine energy, how to treat a woman, how attraction works. And at the start of the book, I mean, it begins with the courtship never ends, right? So a lot of you guys think, oh, when you lock in a girl or you get married, that's it, that's the end. But no, that's just the beginning. The courtship never ends. It always is going. The relationship, like, you need to always work towards it. And I didn't realize that, because a lot of you guys out there, you get a girlfriend and you think, okay, that's my girlfriend, that's it, I locked her in, I mean, she's my girlfriend, right? And you expect her to be like faithful and stuff. But at the end of the day, no, that doesn't work like that, right? So I didn't understand these concepts. And another thing that at the beginning of that book, Coach Corey Wayne says you need to read this book 10 to 15 times to really understand it, because with any type of information you read or watch online, you retain only 7 to 10% of the information every time you read a book, right? So if you read it mathematically 10 to 15 times, you'll remember 100% of it. So I didn't read it 10 to 15 times, but I probably read it like 5 times, also listened to Audible. And there's this one, like, I'm big on manifestation. I'm very big, but I was skeptical about this one. in the book, he says what you need to do is you need to take a piece of paper and divide it in two parts and write down 10 most important things you want in your dream wife. Okay, it's a wife. So not a girlfriend, not a fiance. The goal is to get a wife, right? So 10 things that you really want in a wife and 10 things that you really don't want. Like your non-negotiables, basically. And then flip the piece of paper and write a love letter to your wife as you were with her already together, right? And I did that around over a year ago. It was May 9th, 9 de Mayo. Okay, I wrote everything I wanted May 9th, 2024, right? And I kind of forgot about it. I mean, I read it a few times and I thought about it, and there were many things that I wrote down that were super specific. Were they specific? Very.
Too much.
Very specific.
Very specific.
Okay. Very specific, and I mean, I'm a specific guy. I'm very on point. I'm very statistical. I love numbers, so I was like, something like this or nothing, like 100% or 0%. And obviously, like, I described a fucking angel that doesn't exist and doesn't walk this earth, right? Well, I thought so. And I went on with my life. I went on with my business, right? Scaled my business, really worked hard. I was doing well before, obviously, but worked even more and kind of forgot about the relationship thing. I did, kind of like date here and there, but didn't found the angel that I described. And then, one day, just pulled up my Instagram and saw that this interesting girl liked a picture of mine, a post of mine. So I just messaged her, and I was like, I remembered the book, Coach Corey Wayne, How to Be a 3% Man. I mean, the book is kind of like a little bit old school. It was written in like 2005 or something, or 2008. So it didn't talk much about like how to text, but more like how to keep your frame. And one thing that my fiance Catalina said, the reason why she responded to me, because she does get a lot of, or did get a lot of DMs from guys, is I was super nonchalant. I was straight to the point. I was like, hey, all right, you're in Medellin, I'm in Medellin. Why haven't we met each other yet? Let's meet each other. Like, what do you like? She said sushi. I was like, this restaurant or this restaurant? She was like, Nico. Okay, Nico. Boom. Done. 7 p.m. Saturday, we meet at Nico. I was so nonchalant. I mean, I was pretty busy as well. But I was like super straight to the point, short messages, and I was like, what's your WhatsApp? She gave me her WhatsApp. Boom. Done. The day of or something like that. Message her, all good, confirmed the date. And we met, right? And the first time I saw her, I was like, nah, she's definitely not my wife. And she thought the same of me, which is super interesting. Super interesting. So I thought she didn't look like my wife because she didn't speak much because she's super conservative, right? And I guess shy and just a bit more closed off, right? Like this random fuckboy looking guy pulls up, invites you to a date. Obviously, you're not going to be so open. And I was like, I don't know, like I'm in a country that is not my land. Like I speak the language, but I'm not the best at it. And I was like, I'm not going to speak much about myself. I'm just going to see what happens. And the first day, it was pretty fun, but we didn't talk much. We were just like looking at each other. I mean, she didn't even want to look at me. I was just looking at her, really.
Yeah.
But we ate, we went to a bar, and then, I mean, Coach Corey Wayne pulls up with his advice. You want to take the girl, if the date's going all right, and you like the girl, you want to take her to as many places as possible to have as many experiences as possible in the shortest amount of time. So we went for dinner, And then I was kind of like 50-50. I didn't know much after the dinner, but I was like, I'm really curious to know more about this girl. So I was like, let's go to a bar. And we went to this bar. I'm a big shisha smoker. We got a shisha. We didn't talk much there either. So I was like, all right, she doesn't want to talk. Let's go dancing. And I kind of like hinted at it. She's like, oh, there's like a very nice club, like literally 2-minute walk away. I was like, all right, let's go to the club. How did I do at the club? Did I dance good?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's good.
I danced good. I impressed you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
I mean, that's just skills, I guess. You gotta move those hips, guys. But we went to the club, and I was like super confused after the club because obviously at the club there's music, and I don't know, we maybe said like 2 words to each other, like, let's go get some water or something like that. But we didn't talk. And then after, like, we went out, and I made a mistake after the club, which was like I called an Uber, and I was still like super unsure about the girl, but like I felt something inside. I was like, I really want to get to know you. I was like, there was something weird inside. I felt like, I don't know what it was, because usually it's like, I can tell if it's a no right away. But it was like, I was kind of like, this is weird, but I don't know you much, but I want to get to know you more.
Yeah.
And I made a mistake. I invited her, because here in Colombia, on Sunday mornings, everyone goes for like a walk. It's called ciclovia. And we were out at the club like on Saturday, and she's like, obviously I could tell like she's going to the gym and she's taking care of herself and stuff like that. And she didn't drink alcohol, which I don't drink alcohol as well. So I was like, let's go to ciclovia together in the morning, which frankly was a mistake. I shouldn't have said that, because it's such a short period of time to meet again.
Yeah.
Like probably 5-hour difference. But I still said that, sent her home in an Uber, woke up, and I mean, we didn't go. She kind of didn't message me that she's going. But then she was like, oh, you can come to this like cafe, but I'm with my friend. And I was like, forget about it, Arnes. Like, forget about it. You fucked up. And then, yeah, I didn't message her for like 5 days. And then the next weekend rolled up. I was like, yo, on the first date we talked about this other restaurant. You're like, let's go to that restaurant. Kwan. Yeah. And then, I mean, I was kind of fucking up all over the way, because I came late to the restaurant a little bit, but only 1 minute. Yeah, only 1 minute late, so it wasn't that bad. She went into the restaurant, and I was like, followed her. But came in, and I was like, all right, we didn't speak much on the first date. Obviously, it's on me, because I wasn't asking the right questions. And I was like, all right, you know what, fuck this. Like, if this date doesn't go well, like, I'm not going out again. So, you know, we went to this restaurant that she likes. You like it?
Yes, I like it.
Yeah.
It's a good restaurant.
Yeah, it's a good restaurant. And we went in, and kind of like, we were just staring at each other for 5-10 minutes, and then I was like, all right, like, tell me about, like, your daily routine, like, what do you do, how do you live? And then we started talking, like, about manifestation, journaling, because you said you journal.
Yeah.
Like, you take time for yourself. And I was like, oh, like, I really respect that. I did the same thing. And we started talking about it, and I was like, oh shit, I really like this girl. Like, let me see, like, what she has going. I want to know her more. And then we went from the restaurant to the same bar, and we spent, I don't know, like 6 hours probably at that bar.
Yeah.
Until they closed. No one else was at that bar. because we were speaking about everything about values, and that's when we just hit it off and started speaking about marriage and relationships and what do we think, like, you know, the right values are for marriage. And we really hit it off after the second date. You knew after the second date I was the one, or after the third?
Second.
Second?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say for me, honestly, after the third, because I was speaking more on the second.
Yeah.
You weren't still speaking, but yeah, I was talking a little bit like about my opinions, and I guess you just liked my opinions, but you didn't really like show it that you liked the opinions, right? And then on the third date we went, probably like 5 days later after the second, that's when I knew, like, oh yeah, she's my wife. Like, that's when I knew we talked about everything. And then what we did is, there's a book, 101 Questions to Ask Before Getting Engaged, and we literally went over like, I don't know, 20 questions after the third date, more or less.
More or less.
Yeah, 20
Same.
questions or something.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, like, this is getting pretty serious. And that was only like 10 days into dating, and I was like, okay, like, I like this. And then what we did is, on the third date we spoke that we need to film a podcast, and I was like, all right, let's film a podcast. And I had a friend here in Medellin who had like a studio set up, so I asked him, hey, can we film like on a Sunday? And so she came prepared. She wanted to make some content in Spanish. I wanted to make some content in English. And yeah, after we did a podcast, I was like, oh shit, we can do a lot of big things together. Like, I feel a big sense of connection here. We went on a date. I gave you 1,000 death stare at dinner. I was just staring into your soul. You did too. You were looking at me like crazy. And I was like, okay, like, I feel a sense of connection here. We ate dinner. I was like, all right, let's go back to my apartment. And then she had the laptop because we did the podcast, and she's like, oh, like, we started talking about like manifestation, and she's like, oh, I actually have like a Google Doc, like a Word document describing my dream husband. And I was like, oh shit, show it to me. Like, I want to see it. I was like very upfront. I was like, show it to me, pull it up. Pull up your most personal, like, secrets right now. Your most personal thoughts you've ever had about your husband. And she pulled it up. Basically, it was like, what, 5 pages of text describing me?
Yeah.
Describing exactly me. And I was like, all right, like, I have that Coach Corey Wayne paper, but it's back home in Spain. But I have like a mini version of it here. And I showed it to her. Remember that blue notebook?
Yeah.
What did you think?
Remember. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy.
Yeah. She's still learning English, so we speak Spanish mainly. But I showed it to her, and it was like super specific, right? What I want. She was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, I can't believe it. And I was kind of like, okay, so what do you think are the next steps for our relationship? And she's like, comprometer. And I was like, I'm getting better at Spanish, but I'm not the best. And I was like, comprometer, like, what does that mean? I go on ChatGPT and it's like, gives me 2 options, like, become like serious, like, boyfriend and girlfriend, or like engage. And I was like, which one of it do you mean? Like, I don't understand what that word means. She's like, no, like the one, like, engage, propose. I was like, remember what did I tell you? What did I tell you?
What do you say?
What's your ring size? I said. I was like, all right, what's your ring size? She's like, I don't know. I was like, who has to know this thing? Like, that's on you. You need to know your ring size. And she didn't know her ring size. So I was like, I woke up the next morning and I live with my friend here in Medellin, and I told him, I think I'm gonna marry this girl. Like, and that was like 15 days into dating. And yeah, that night we also thought, what do we need to do in order to get engaged? And she's like, you need to meet my parents, I need to meet your parents. And she was like, what do you want? I said, I want to go on a trip together and spend like a week, like 24/7 together, just to see how we match. And she was like, okay. So we set the plan. I met her mother shortly, a few weeks after that. Then I planned a trip to Spain. We went to Spain for 8-9 days. Then she met my parents in Spain. I met her dad. And the funny part about this ring is, after that notebook story of her showing what she wants and me showing what I wanted and what I described, I was like, let's go to the gym. I'm tired of these like dinner dates. Let's just spend some time together. I want to get to know you like on a day-to-day. So we went to the gym, and after the gym I was like, let's get some sun, right? Let's take a walk. And we walked to another mall, from the gym to a mall. I was like, oh, let's go into the mall, like walk around. And we passed this jewelry store, and she's like, a jewelry store. I was like, oh, let's go in, like to measure your size, right? Ring size. And she comes in, and this specific ring was shown to her at first. They gave her a few options, and I was like, damn, this is pretty wild. Like, we're dating for what, like 15 days? She's already trying on a ring, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna take it like a man. And this ring size was ring size 6. I was like, okay, noted. Took a picture of the rings that she liked. And that's it. I mean, we continued to do our thing. During this process, I was speaking a lot to my father and my mother. Told my father, look, I met this girl, like I'm super serious about it. Do you have any advice? And he kind of gave me his advice, his point of view. And yeah, we did all the things. I met her parents, she met my parents. And from my side, we did what I wanted as well, which is we took a trip. How was the trip? How was Spain?
Good.
She didn't know it, but I wanted to go to Spain to show her where we're gonna live in Spain, in Altea Hills. She had no clue, but I have it all planned 24/7. So, and yeah, 2 days ago we were here on the other side of the pool. I proposed, popped the question, and she got a little scared, carried away, didn't know what to say. Well, she did know what to say, but she just couldn't say it. She was so happy with it. And, well, that's it. That's the story. Do you want to add something?
No, tú lo
No?
dijiste todo.
I said everything. Dime en español qué tú piensas.
Ok. Pienso que todo es perfecto. Cuando encuentras la persona correcta, las cosas fluyen de inmediato. Tú tienes la certeza, la fe de que las cosas realmente son así, que es tu persona correcta. Solo tienes que tener muy claro lo que quieres, lo que no, y tener muy claro como tus valores, lo que buscas, lo que no, y reflejar lo mismo. Si tú pides algo, tienes que serlo tú primero.
You see, that's why she's my wife. She said it better than me. Did you think I'm gonna propose here on this trip, on this weekend getaway?
Yes.
She saw it coming. No, I was super nervous.
Too much.
Okay. ¿Por qué tú escribiste todo que tú querías en tu esposo?
Porque era lo que quería y lo que sentía.
Sí,
que
pero ¿por qué pensaste que es buena idea escribir todo?
Para tener claro y para cuando tú vas a dating, saber qué hombre es correcto y qué no. y simplemente como tú ya lo tienes tan claro, lo que sí, lo que no, tus negociables, no vas a perder el tiempo.
Exactamente. Por eso, 2 meses.
Por eso 2 meses, no hay tiempo que perder.
Ok, perfect. Ya tenemos.